Clash at the Castle is in the books and it delivered in so many ways. Surprises, title changes. Was Drew McIntyre the champion at the end of the show? We're going to get into that and a whole lot more as we review Clash at the Castle from Glasgow, Scotland. First thing to say, the fans were once again fantastic. They killed it in Glasgow. You know, considering 11,000, it doesn't sound like a big number. They made a hell of a lot of noise throughout this whole pay-per-view. So kudos to Scotland. And I think WWE had a bit of a, bit of a think on their hands to whether or not they do a lot more of these pay-per-views away from the United States. No disrespect to the States. You get wrestling each and every week with the WWE. International crowds don't. And I think WWE may have a bit of a decision to make going forward as to how many pay-per-views they have outside of the US. So it's an interesting fact for WWE to start thinking of as they go into next year now, and the rest of this year, of course. But Clash of the Castle started with the I Quit match, Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles. They absolutely delivered a fantastic I Quit match. They were all over the show here, in and out the ring. Mama Rose getting involved. Shout out to Jack Jester, by the way, who I saw a few rows behind Mama Rose when AJ was getting heat over going over to Mama Rose and berating her a little bit. She did slap him a few times as well. There was tables, there was chairs, there was kendo sticks, there was handcuffs. Everyone thought it was thumbtacks, but it was handcuffs. There was everything imaginable in this match. However, Cody Rhodes was handcuffed to the ropes at one point, or sorry, was handcuffed together at one point during this match, and he managed to break free. And then to win the match, he handcuffs AJ Styles to the ropes. He annihilates him, and then he goes to grab the stairs and throw him into AJ's face. AJ says the words, "I quit," and Cody Rhodes reigns supreme. Both men bleeding in this match as well, so the nice bit of coloring. This is what the thing about the blood situation. What the WWE has started to do now, more so than ever, is add blood when it's needed. And I think, to be fair, that's the right thing to do, to add blood when blood is required, not just for the sake of it, not just because they can. When it matters, add the blood into it. And I think that was a very good call from the WWE to do that in this particular match. Let the guys get a bit of color because the match is meant to mean something. It's an I quit match. Your opponent's got to say I quit to get the job done. So agreed with the WWE on this one for a bit of blood. Needed it, made the match a big fight feel to it. Was the ending a bit weak? I think that's a good question to ask. I suppose he's going to get the stairs thrown at his head. He did anyway, because Cody Rhodes made sure that he threw the stairs at the head of AJ Styles at the end, regardless. So for sure, definitely required near the end. And it was nice as well that Cody showed that little bit of a killer streak. But it wasn't all here now, because as Cody was walking back up the stage, Solo Sikoa appeared and started clapping. Cody turned around, saw that Solo was there. The Bloodline ambushed Cody Rhodes. Out comes Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to make the save. And again, if you looked very carefully, there was so as the Bloodline had scarpered, it was Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Randy Orton glanced down to Cody Rhodes' shoulder with the world title and was giving the world title a little look. So two potential obstacles for Cody Rhodes now. One, Solo Sikoa. Are they going down that route? Roman Reigns is due back very, very soon for sure. So we've got that to play into it. And now there's the Viper, who seems to have eyes on the gold as well. What way are they going to be looking at Cody with this? Are they going to go the solo route? Will Randy Orton get a shot at Money in the Bank? Will they give it to Solo? Is that where we're going to see Roman Reigns return at Money in the Bank, maybe? Money in the Bank qualifiers incidentally start on Raw this week. They announced that on the show tonight, which was very, very good. I can't wait for Money in the Bank. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views. And also, Cody may have to contend with the Money in the Bank winner, of course. So we're going to have to see. But Solo or Randy Orton seems to be in Cody's sights. Cody may not think Randy Orton is in his sights, but I think you'll find he is. And Solo Sikoa wants to stake the claim for the heavyweight championship. And, we will find out, I suppose, as early as SmackDown this week, I would assume, who's next for Cody Rhodes. But Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles nearly went half an hour to start the show. Kudos to them delivering an absolutely fantastic opening contest. Now, the women's tag team championships did change hands in a massive surprise, really. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire winning the women's tag team champions in their hometown of Bonnie, Scotland, of course, was congratulations to them. I got a message from Fiona during this. Alba Fire, Kaylee Ray, very good friends of our co-host on this show, Fiona, and she was saying, "Did you hear me when Kylie Ray or Alba Fire and Isla Dawn beat Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler, the triple threat tag match? Match was very, very good. Unfortunately, Jade Cargill did slip off the ropes near the end there, and I know a lot of the trolls on the internet are going to pick it up. I had to mention it because it's going to be ridiculed online. The actual match, though, was really, really good, but with that bit, unfortunately, going to be shown at the end, and they're going to be shown quite a lot, unfortunately. But what they did do very well during this was Bianca and Jade done a great tag team maneuver, I think it was like a face slam into a German suplex, which Isla Dawn then broke up the pin, gave Jade Cargill a German suplex, and pinned Zoe Stark, I believe, to win the tag team championships. An incredible moment. I think it caught everybody by surprise. I didn't expect it. I don't think the crowd absolutely lapped it up. They were screaming for Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. And obviously, Alba Fire, I suppose it is bittersweet. If you didn't know, she lost her mother, I think, quite recently. And it was a shame that she wasn't there. I know she was probably there in spirit, but she wasn't there to see Alba Fire or Kylie Ray win the tag team championships. But there was a great moment at the end. They went out to the front row where their family and friends were, got some flowers given to them. And the Glasgow absolutely erupted for it. And I think erupted for it because they probably didn't expect it as well. Not because they didn't want them to win. Of course they did. They're Scottish. But I think out of all three matches tonight, potentially that one was the one that no one really thought there was a chance of it happening. And it did. The crowd went ballistic. And congratulations to Alba Fire and Isla Dawn as well for picking up the victory in this. It's very, very interesting times, though. What's going to happen with Bianca and Jay? Do they win it back this week? Is there an instant rematch clause in the contract? Maybe. But it's interesting because they didn't get the cover. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens on this one going forward. Will Bianca and Jade get a rematch? Will this start the split between the two of them? What's going to happen? We'll have to wait and see on SmackDown. But a very good victory for Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and congratulations to them. Before we talk the next match, we must say that the Uncle Howdy code did indeed come up at the start of this match, which was Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. Now, is that finally hinting that Sami Zayn is the target of Uncle Howdy? The clock is ticking literally at the start of Raw. If the timer is to be believed, at the start of Raw on Monday, that is when we are going to get the reveal. But is it Sami Zayn that they're targeting? It seems very strange that was potentially where the final clue aired was the Sami Zayn Chad Gable match, predominantly on Sami Zayn. So that does make me think and believe they are going to be targeting Sami Zayn, Uncle Eddie, and they would be a heel group if that is to be the case. The actual QR code itself flashed up. There was another ring. I've got a picture. of it on here somewhere that I'm going to see. Yeah, and a load of drawings, a load more pictures. They had when the circle was broken, they were let loose, no direction, lost and confused, but I found them. They are safe now. They are free. They are real. So that's the first clue or the first part of the drawing. There's a load of other drawings. Stick men and remember who you are is another one on the list. I can't, there's a misdiagnosed picture as well, another load of scribbly pictures. And then the last one says, now I wonder if he is me or if that's what he wants me to think. There was a lot of sort of scrambled pictures as well. One of them looked distinctively like Uncle Howdy. We haven't got long to find out. Monday's Raw will be the time that we find out. Apologies for my light changing color a little bit there. But that is going to be Monday's reveal. Uncle Howdy. Are they targeting Sami Zayn? We'll have to wait and see. Now, Sami Zayn and Chad Gable had another fantastic match for the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn did win this match. And again, it was centered around this whole thing with Otis and Maxine. So throughout the whole of this match, Chad Gable's going to Otis. Remember what I said? Give him the nod, give him Maxine a nod. Remember, tell him to focus and be there when I need you to be there. And there was a part where he wanted Maxine to be there. He basically went and grabbed the belt off the padding that it was on. Referee was stopping him. He gave it to Maxine, and then he basically chokes Sammy on the ropes. The referee moves him away and gives Maxine the nod to hit Sammy, which he did not. Chad Gable loses his marbles at this, but goes outside to berate Maxine Dupree. There's a lot of stuff that happens on the outside. Maxine Dupree still in a cast as well. And there is a bit where Chad Gable has the ankle lock on Sami Zayn, actually over the barricade. Sami Zayn kind of breaks free, kicks Chad Gable onto Max. He then chop blocks Maxine down. Otis sees this. He starts getting in front of Maxine, getting in front of Chad Gable, looking like they're going to start a war between those two. Once again, there is an opportunity for Otis during this to hit Sami Zayn. He did not, and he decided to pick up Maxine Dupree and walk up the ramp, thus making Chad Gable not have any help at all, and ultimately costing Chad Gable because Sami Zayn then utilized a haluva kick on Gable and picked up the victory to retain the Intercontinental Championship. And there is a picture of Chad Gable's face at the end of the match. He is not happy. And one can only think about what could happen on Monday's Raw with this. We have seen Chad Gable talking to Diamond Mine and Ivy Nile recently, and I wonder now if Monday's Raw is going to be the start of that. Maybe Chad Gable gets rid of Otis, Maxine, and Axel and replaces him with Diamond Mine and Ivy Nile. That could very well happen on Monday's Raw. So Monday's Raw is going to be action-packed. There's going to be a lot going on Monday's Raw for sure. I can't wait for Monday's Raw, to be quite honest with you. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens on Raw with Gable, and there's a lot of other stuff that we need to get into about Raw on Monday as well. But Sami Zayn retains the Intercontinental Championship. Right decision? I don't know if that's the right decision. He kind of hinted at Gable that was it. That was his last chance. He's not getting another one. I don't know if it was the right. I mean, I suppose we will find out in the story if it was right or wrong. We know, as I said, there's probably going to be a Gable and Otis feud. Gable will probably, hire the Diamond Mine to come on board, and they'll probably replace, Maxine Tozawa and Gabe and Otis. So maybe there's more left in that story. Yeah, I would have liked Otis to have won the Intercontinental title. Otis, I would have liked Gable to have won the Intercontinental title tonight, but it didn't. Sami Zayn did. The crowd loved Sami Zayn in Glasgow. There was a lot of funny chants tonight as well. AJ's a wanker and so many other ones. You're just a shit Kurt Angle to Chad Gable. That was quite funny actually. But yeah, nevertheless, the right decision. I'm not sure. I suppose, but again, we'll wait and see what happens in the story to find out if it was the right thing. Will Gable eventually get a run that he deserves? He's never won a singles title in the WWE. And I think he's due one. So I'm hopeful that this will be it's a part of a bigger story, and the bigger story there will be that Chad Gable will eventually win a singles championship in the WWE. But it wasn't tonight. Sami Zayn pins him with a haluva kick, around 20 minutes. Really good match. I will say this. Sami Zayn, Chad Gable's suplexes were chef's kiss. Sami Zayn's German suplexes were Swedish chef, and if you'll know, you'll get the pun if you watch the Muppets. Yeah, it's a great match though. Sami Zayn picks up the victory and retains the Intercontinental Championship. Now, Scotland's own Piper Niven was next with Bailey, and unfortunately, Scotland go 1-for-1 in matches on this one. Bailey did retain the title. I was half expecting it because I think looking down the line and looking at what's been happening recently on SmackDown, Nia Jax was in Bailey's radar as well. So my belief is that Bailey and Nia will go on, maybe at Money in the Bank or could be at SummerSlam. But nevertheless, Bailey retains the championship in here. This was a really good match, actually, 15-minute match. Chelsea Green gets basically eliminated from ringside because she put her hands on Little Nate. Charles Robinson, you don't put your hands on Little Nate. Come on. Seriously. So he ejected her from ringside. There were some really good spots in this match. Piper was absolutely giving Bailey everything. There was like a lot of sentons that really looked like she was coming down on Bailey. There was a Bailey to Bailey off the top rope as well. Chelsea Green gets back involved with a mask on the ref sees right through, but that led to a big sort of Falcon Arrow cover from Piper Niven that got very close to the 3 count. But eventually, Bailey does indeed pick up the victory in this, and Scotland go 1-for-1 on the show. But yeah, really good showing from Piper Niven as well. And I think, if anything, that's really shown the WWE that she can, and she is more than capable of holding singles gold in WWE for sure. But it just wasn't to be tonight. Bailey picks up the win. And I would imagine, because correct me if I'm wrong, Nia Jax gets the shot at SummerSlam. Now, if you remember, the men's main event, which we'll talk about in a minute, Gunther is the king of the ring in waiting, isn't he? So he's the one that probably gets that match at SummerSlam, assuming that the champion is still the champion by SummerSlam. We'll get into that in a minute. But as it stands right now, Bailey and Nia Jax head into SummerSlam unless the Money in the Bank winner cashes in on Bailey, or Bailey drops the championship at Money in the Bank, which is actually, I believe, only 3 weeks away from Money in the Bank already, July 6th, for Montreal, Canada. And we all know what the Canadian fans are like. So just to add on to some more great international fans, it's going to Canada next. It'd be great to see what they hold for Money in the Bank. But Bailey retains the women's championship in a great match. And kudos to Piper Niven. It just wasn't to be. Now, here we go. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. The Judgment Day are barred from ringside, remember. The match was, started off really good, but there was a really scary moment in this. And I think this really did affect not that the match wasn't great after this moment, but you could tell that Damien was struggling. So he went to do a dive over the top rope. He got caught in between the top and the middle rope. Leg got stuck in between it. He was having a hell of a time trying to put weight on that leg. He did do some like kicks and stuff later on during this match, but he was struggling big time during the remainder of this match to put weight on the leg. There were some points when it seems as if it was easing off, and then he'd do a move and it would go back to being in agony with the leg, and it really affected his mobility throughout the rest of this match. McIntyre did hit the Claymore for a close 2 count. And then there was a ref bump, ladies and gentlemen. The ref got thrown to the outside. So I can't quite remember how, but he got moved on to the outside. Big South of Heaven choke slam. There was another opportunity for Damien to hit. No, he hit the big razor's edge. Then went for the South of Heaven. Drew ducked it, hit the rope, hit the Claymore kick, went for the cover. There was no ref. A referee run down, and there was great camera work. And I'll tell you why. So the ref run into the ring, and all you could see was the back of the referee that had come in. He went one, he went two, and he never dropped the third hand. And we're thinking, what's going on here? The referee that come out to count the pin was CM Punk, and he counted two, as he said to McIntyre, who looked incensed at this point. He was absolutely pissed at this. He grabs McIntyre by the throat, throws him into the corner, has him by the throat. Punk kicks McIntyre in the balls, and unfortunately turns around into the South of Heaven chokeslam. The referee's miraculously okay. He comes back into the ring and counts to 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre screwed over again in the UK, this time in his hometown of Scotland. Got a good like WrestleMania type entrance as well, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But McIntyre loses again at Clash of the Castle, screwed over again. Glasgow. Well, some of the Glasgow fans were. Some of them were hugging Punk as he was standing at ringside. I was worried about him walking up that ramp because there was a lot of chorus of boos. But McIntyre screwed Punk out. But I would say this, and I did agree actually. The Ringside Renaissance podcast, who I'm doing a collaboration with next week, did say that it felt a bit silly Punk costing McIntyre the title, considering Punk would be wanting a shot, and Drew would obviously give Punk a shot because Drew wants to beat Punk up. So it made sense Punk helping him win the title, really, because Punk would then go get a title shot. Anyway, they didn't do that. They done the absolute reverse. Punk costing McIntyre the title. Monday's Raw is gonna be wild. McIntyre is gonna be fucking fuming. We got the Uncle Howdy stuff. We got the Chad Gable notice, and potentially we don't know the severity of Damian Priest's injury, because as he was walking up the ramp, he could barely put weight on the leg. And the concern would be, is Priest's injury severe enough for him to have to relinquish the title on Monday? That is something that we need to look at, and something that we're going to have to be keeping an eye on social media for over the next few days to see if Priest, sorry, is still going to be champion on Monday, or whether he will have to relinquish the title due to the injury. We don't know the severity. We hope he's okay. We hope he can continue as champion, but he didn't look great. He was talking to Drew. You did see him talking during the end, like after the pinfall had occurred, while the camera's cutting away and then coming back to them and stuff. They are talking at that point. So I don't know the severity of the injury. We'll try and get an update out on social media once we hear of an update. Nevertheless, Damian Priest wins. Drew McIntyre screwed out of the title, but nevertheless, CM Punk costing McIntyre the championship. He's on the press conference at the end in a Celtic shirt, a Celtic hoodie. He knows how to rile people up. That's for sure. But will Priest have to drop the title? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Also, at the media scrum, just giving you some news as things breaking here. CM Punk did say that he will be at SmackDown this week. Interesting news. And yeah, I'm just reading anything else. Nothing else has happened. So there we go. Punk is going to be on SmackDown this week. McIntyre is going to be fuming on Raw. We will get the fallout from Chad Gable and Otis. We'll get Uncle Howdy debuting as well. Is he going to target Sami Zayn? And also we'll get an update, I suppose, on Damian Priest, and hopefully he still can be the champion and not have to be relinquished. But it means Raw is going to be must watch this week. Get ready to take a look at it. I'm going to be reviewing all things wrestling this week. Tomorrow on the podcast, we'll be doing a week in AEW with our good friend Gary Joe, will be coming on. And then next week, to kick off the week, the Ringside Renaissance podcast will be joining us on the Hitting the Turnbuckle. We're going to be talking all things Clash, all things Raw, and all things wrestling news. So do not miss that next week. And until then, everybody, keep a lookout on us on social media at HTT Buckle, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, and all other social media platforms. We'll be back tomorrow with this week in AEW. But until then, everybody, buckle down, stay safe.